Heyo. All right, happy Sunday morning. How the hell is everybody doing, huh? So let me get my ass comfortable in this chair. All right, here we go. I'm not moving the rest of the day right there. Oh, we're doing okay. It was a long trip, and hey, Frank says trade everyone, move the team to Quebec so they can freeze their ass off. Friggin' pathetic effort, right? What's what Beck says? Yeah, I know. It's all right though. Hey, look, let's just, you know how the movie Scrooge and there's the ghost of Christmas past. If you feel bad about the last few games for the Panthers, just go back and look at the ghost of Christmas past and things that may have been going on in the standings in between Christmas and and New Year's, and you'll likely find, well, we're only 8 points out. I have, in fact, how many points were we out the first year? We made it to the finals the first year. We were out, I know at one point by at least 10 points. It might have been 12. Hey, Rosado, Disney Springs, huh? Nice. Hey, man, it says, oof, what's going on with the Cats? I feel like they know they are going to be more physical than normal in the playoffs. That's actually a good point, Amanda. I hadn't thought of it that way, but Amanda's got a really, really good point. Really good point. Hadn't thought about that. What she's saying is that this year in the playoffs, since we're the champs, teams are likely to take the physicality to us even more than they did in the past. And we're going to need all of the energy and health that we can acquire going into the playoffs. Had not thought about that. But that's actually a really good point because it's true. Teams are going to be coming for us, right? When you see the game now between Panthers and Lightning, the first series was real physical. The second one wasn't so much. But now it looks like all that animosity has returned. And there's at least a 70% chance that's the first round opponent. And if you don't think Tampa would love to be the team to finally eliminate us, I got a bridge to sell you. Zato says, yeah, we were 12 points out by this time, right? Yeah. Where do the Monsters take the Panthers' talent back? They'll be all right. They'll be all right, Bex. Hey, iDog. Somehow we're still tied with the Leafs. Yeah. All right. Hey, Metal. Yeah, great to meet me at the arena. Sell the team. I was reading what Jackson says. The King Jaws has returned. What's funny about that comment, Jackson? I'm laughing because let's just say there's still somebody that watches what I'm doing online, and the comment that they said to me yesterday was, well, you're obviously the king shit online. That's what you wanted anyway. So then you come and say the king, and I just get a good giggle. I get a good giggle out of things. Beck says, yeah, I know they will. I know we'll make it to the playoffs. It's just disheartening to watch. Do that shit on the road, Bex. You know what I mean? Like if you want to play like when they go out west and they lose and get shut out to whoever, Vancouver or whoever the hell else it is, whatever, you're doing it in Western Canada and all of that. You know what I mean? But don't do that shit at home. You don't do that. People pay. It cost me $5. It was between the parking and the tickets, $5 for that second game because Magda paid for the first game. That was her offer. I wanted to go to a second game so I'd have a chance to meet everybody. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank God they took payments. And then it was 4-0, right? People paying big money for that. Do that shit like they did last night on the road. Jackson says, oh, I know you did. I know you did, Jackson. I know. It's just, I find it's kind of ironic that they would say that to me as a jab, and then immediately somebody would use that word in a positive light. I think there's your sign, right? There's your sign. So everything is good. Life is good. I'm discovering that life can be just as good when you're dead broke as it is when you have money. Doesn't matter. It matters what you get to do with your days and your time, and that's what matters. I just walk around not knowing where the bill money is going to come from. It keeps showing up. So I just keep, you know what I mean? I don't need to throw my life away for money. All right, iDog says, I'm more pissed about Tua being out than anything with the Panthers. I mean, iDog, this is a life lesson. We're going to switch over to Voice of Reason channel here for a second. iDog, don't be mad about things that you knew were going to happen. iDog, don't let your emotions get to you. Don't let yourself be upset and troubled and shocked by things that you really should have known was going to happen. Sunswine says, I think Manatee weekend home games against Montreal is one of our kryptonites. Matinee. I say Manatee? Matinee weekend home games against Montreal is one of our kryptonites. I can't disagree. I couldn't believe it. 1 o'clock? What? Why? Why not an evening game? You know? Jack says, I do feel bad they did that while you were there getting shut out from 10. I mean, at least there was a little bit of excitement, right? iDog, yeah, fair enough. Charles being a father to the chat now. Well, most of you are could easily, you're younger than Kyle, really, right? Frank says, dude, it's so hard to stay positive when you get shut out back to back in the same month. We got twice in right. We got no draft picks and no money. How the hell are we going to help the team by the trade deadline? Well, I think the forward group is okay. Would I still like to see another forward come in? Maybe, sure. I know it sounds crazy, but I really don't think playoff scoring is going to be the problem. The problem is we are just not matching other teams' intensity and physicality right now. And see the point that Amanda made early on about, maybe they recognize that they are going to have to really lay it on the line physically this playoffs. Remember, the first playoffs, we had already busted our ass to get in, and that's how we won. We lost the cup, but we were winning games by just beating the crap out of other teams. That's not what we did so much last year. There was some physical play, but we were just the best team. And this year, I have a feeling that they may recognize that it's going to be more like the first year in the playoffs. Rosado says, Nola Chari will solve our problems. We need her all to show up at the next meetup. DM him on Twitter. iDog says, my coworker was at the Tampa shutout, but I don't think it was her fault. We lost. She was also at the crazy 10 game. We were dominated them at the end of last year. Yeah, it's because they found out Kyle and I were in the building. Notice how hard they played, and they won the game that they didn't know, right? Sunshine says our forwards are struggling with this many shutouts. Yeah. I mean, yes, but it's not, they don't all suddenly suck. You know what I mean? You saw it last night. When you see Sam Reinhart make a stupid back pass in the middle of the ice on a power play, you know that they're just not mentally engaged. You can see it. I lost count how many times the puck would go into the zone, and I've seen it a few times. They would bring the puck into the zone, and they would dump it in. And then all the forwards would kind of look at each other like, which one of us is going to go get that? Oh, shit, I guess I will. A little late. Did the whole team. It's crazy. Frank says, love me some cookie. Hell yeah, bring them back, right? I got to scroll down to the bottom here. Yeah, it was nuts to see a mistake like that from Reinhardt. That's when we knew we were cooked. Yep. Hey, Bulvar, he says, I've been badly sick for a whole week. This is awful. Hope your Christmas week was good. Mine was rather trash as I've been in bed most of the week. Sorry, man. That sucks. That sucks. I used to get sick as a kid growing up. I would always get sick around Christmas break. Many, many years, I would miss the last week of school before Christmas break and also be sick the first week of Christmas break. It sucks. Yeah, exactly, Bex. The amount of productivity that comes out of Reinhardt, everyone gets a pass every now and then. Yeah, it just illustrates where they are mentally, which is just like, you take the puck. I don't want it. And Reinhardt had another. There was another moment during the game where he had a chance to shoot, and he did it like a stupid drop pass. You know. iDog says maybe they'll play hard in January, then take it easier during the Four Nations, and then turn it on again after. Well, they're going to have to play a little bit harder, right? You know, unless they tank, which is really probably not going to happen. Unless they tank, there's like a 99% chance that they're either going to play Toronto, Tampa, or Boston in the first round, right? It's basically, it's not written in stone, but they've already started chiseling that on the stone. So they're just kind of coasting. I hate it. We want to see them play the way they're capable of, but no denying it too, right? Excuse me. Hey, Vincent. Our Sharks are looking good. Yeah, the Sharks are doing good. I still don't have the Shark thing up, though. Bolar says 2 out with season on the line. That's pretty typical, though, right? That's pretty typical. Dobis is better than Shesty. What Beck say? I hear the rookie goalie is going to be asking for $12 million now, right? Adonis says, morning, guys. Cheers to the Giants going 0-9 at home. Never done in the NFL ever. Huh. Maybe they'll win, right? Paddle 6 says, are they trying to play pretty or just lack of aggressiveness to shoot? Both. They're just not playing anything remotely close to what their game is, right? The game that they play takes constant movement, constant energy, physicality, a desire to fight in the corners for pucks, etc. And they're just not wanting to do any of that right now. None of it. Maybe they've swallowed too much of their own smoke, that maybe they believe that they can go out there against the Canadians and play a half-ass game and still win 3-1. It's not that kind of system. That's a good point. Metal says, do I think we'll turn it on against the Rangers because of them being a playoff opponent? That might happen. It needs to happen. Somebody left a comment, I think on the recap, something to the effect of either we'll get our shit together or we will save the Rangers season or something like that, in the sense that if we play like we did the last 2 games against the Rangers, they're going to beat the crap out of us, and that might be the thing that turns their season around. I'm going to go to the bottom. I missed some comments. Bolvar says, if Vegas manages to get Chris Kreider, I'm going to laugh till my throat hurts again, right? Business says Tampa versus Devils in the conference final. It looks like that at the moment. The Panther fan in me would obviously like to disagree with you, but that wouldn't surprise me even a little bit. That wouldn't surprise me even a little bit. Now, the only thing here about that, Vincent, is that I would almost think if you're Tampa, you would want to avoid the Panthers in the first round. Not because you don't think that you can beat the Panthers, But it is going to be very difficult on whoever survives a Panthers Lightning playoff series to continue on. That would be my only concern for either team. But that matchup is coming, whether it's the first round or the second round. It's almost, I'm not discarding Boston or Toronto, but that matchup is coming, Panthers and Lightning. And the question is going to be, will the winning team have enough healthy bodies left to go deal with New Jersey? Because that's not a guarantee. If you get the crap beat out of you for 7 games and y'all, everybody's depleted and beaten down and you got to play New Jersey, who do they got to play? Right? That's the other part to that. Who the Devils got to play? Bovar says, just keep Edmonton down. I want McDavid to be the Dan Marino of hockey. Huh. He came closer than Marino did, though. Right? Like Marino, the game was over by the start of the fourth quarter. At least McDavid had a chance, for basically half the game to tie it and have a chance to win the cup, right? Marino, his Super Bowl, by the end of the third quarter, it was pretty much over. Oh, Donna's talking football, right? Idaho says Capitals could also make the conference final. That's possible. That's possible. That's true. Okay, Metal, I got you. You say you got a question regarding the energy of the team. iDog says Capitals have played 4 less games and the Devils are only a point behind. Hey, VK says as long as McDavid runs into Vegas, he ain't winning shit. Right? Vegas is looking good again. It takes some time, right? Look at Tampa. Now they kind of hit the refresh button, right? And now they look good again. Hey, thank you, Frank. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Frank. He says tampons are rolling. They're scoring in bunches, and Vasi's back to form. We're going to get our butt kicked if we play Tampa. Well, it's interesting, though, Frank, because the game that we did beat them, that was Vasilevsky. We have historically played pretty well against Vasilevsky. I know that they beat us in that one playoff series, but if the Panthers and Lightning play, what both teams should just do to save themselves the trouble, if the Panthers or Lightning play in the playoffs and either team has genuine hope of winning the cup, what each team needs to do is forfeit 3 games, so it's just 1 game 7. Because that's where it's going anyway. They can either forfeit the first 6 games and do a game 7 where everybody's fresh, or they can beat the shit out of each other for 6 games and then get to game 7 where everybody's got like 1 arm and 1 leg and they're like, I can't hold the stick because I got a broken hand. Their call. But I would just do a gentleman's handshake and be like, look, let's just not hit nobody till game 7 so that whoever makes it past that series has enough bodies left to win the cup. Metal says, would I rather get to the finals again and lose or get bounced in the first? Hold on a second. I got a warning here. I got to close out. No, I don't want that. Says Metal says, would I rather get to the finals again and lose or get bounced in the first or second round? I'm concerned about the energy, and I don't know if it's better to lose early and rest for next year or risk making it to the finals and losing. Can't do that to your fan base. Well, Metal, the fan in me feels one way. The other part of me, the part that would like to pay my bills, says make it to the finals again. That's as honest and true of a response as I can give you. The fan in me, yeah. But the other part that would like to pay his bills says win every game you can. Win every game you can. Trey says, yeah, I'd rather win the cup. Right. Frank says John Cooper is going to intentionally play Bennett and Reinhardt 60 minutes a shift so they can be gassed or injured by the playoffs. The Four Nation Cup means zero. Interesting. I hadn't thought about that, Frank. I hadn't thought about that. Putting the other guy's coach in charge of yeah. I hadn't thought about that. Vincent says, forget about energy. This team lacks in personnel, and the lines are a mess. Well, the lines are a mess because Maurice won't keep the lines the same for 2 games straight. Because multiple times when we've won games, he's messed with the lines. You know? You never know what the hell the lines are going to be. I'm telling you that when I was at the game it was actually on purpose. I forget the 3 players, but it was something crazy like Reinhardt, Kachuk, and Greer. I forget the 3 guys, but they actually came over the boards. Maurice has just been doing way too much tinkering. You know? Beck says, I just want one more cup. Funny how last year all I wanted was just 1 cup. I just want to win. You guys know. I just want a clean experience of winning the cup without my dog dying at the same time. You know, that's all I'm asking for, but we'll see how long that takes. You know, I swear, if I get another dog and they don't win the cup for another 15 years and they win at the same time that dog is dying, I'm out. I would just right on the roof and just done, right? I'll find a big enough building, done. Bouchard 8 times a million or 8 times $1? Mike says, bro, don't get another dog. Oh, man. No, not this year. We're not. If nothing else, I've always known that there will be a full hockey season where there's no dog. You know, well, there'll be a full hockey season where there's no dog. If I'm actually thought about this, if I was to get another dog, it'd probably be 2 at a time, but it would be right at the beginning of hockey season because that's the vibe I want the dog to understand. If I get a dog 2 months before hockey season starts, he's going to get used to a whole routine, and then all of a sudden we're streaming and there's wires everywhere and all of that. Season starts so that he knows it's this time of day. This is my bed. I stay away from this area. We're watching TV. We're yelling at the TV. I'd have to train them to know, to cooperate with the stream, so to speak, right? Yeah, Frank says, Maurice is so stubborn. Why is Sammy doing on the 4th line when he's getting ragged all out there? Yep. 4th line should be big and a bunch of assholes just like last year. 100%. 100%, Frank. It don't make any sense. I'm not kidding, man. Barkov, Kachuk, Samoskevich. Barkov, Kachuk, Samoskevich. If you love Boquist so much, Maurice, Barkov, Kachuk, Samoskevich, Bennett, Rodriguez, Boquist, Lundell, Luosterainen, Verhaeghe. What do you think about that? What did I just say? I don't remember. What did I just say? Barkov, Kachuk, Samoskevich, Bennett, Rodriguez, Boquist, Lundell, Luosterainen, Verhaeghe. Where's Reinhardt? Damn it. I knew there was somebody I was forgetting. Put his ass on the 4th line after that pass he made last night. I just put Reinhardt. Well, okay, then screw Boquist. Boquist goes down to the 4th line. I just put Reinhardt on the 4th line. Don't put it past Maurice. All right, so Barkov, Kachuk, Samoskevich, Bennett with Reinhardt and Rodriguez. That don't match. It doesn't match. Damn it. But Barkov, Kachuk. When we've done that, the point I'm making is when we've done Barkov and Kachuk before to get things going, It's worked, right? Yeah, doing Reinhardt dirty, right? As Sybil says, I bought his jersey yesterday, and that passes how he repays me. I was just trying to forget he was on the team. Damn it. The point being is that Samoskevich does not. We're getting shut out. The kid shouldn't be on the fourth line. Why is he in love with this guy Boquist so much that he's taking Samoskevich and putting him on the fourth line? Samoskevich don't belong on the fourth line. He's trying. Oh, here comes Trey. Here comes Trey. Vincent says Lundell, Kachuk, Rodriguez. That's nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty. I'd do that. I would do that. Why not? I mean, we could do anything at this point. What are we going to do? Get shut out? Right? I mean, we could basically do anything we want at this point. He wants to make a romance with Boquist. Telling you, man, I couldn't believe it when I saw it out there. I mean, Boquist is a nice player, don't get me wrong, but he's way more suited for the fourth line than Samoskevich is. That's Paul Maurice, though. Vegas says if Crosby's going anywhere, it's Vegas. Wouldn't that be some shit? When is Nashville going to start selling players? Man, it says, yeah, he's treating Boquist like cousins. Yes, I agree. I agree, except it doesn't quite have the same effect. You know what I mean? This says, what was that? Hold on a second. Bennett with E2 and Samoskevich. I mean, those are some gritty lines. Then what? Then the top line would be what? Barkov with Reinhardt and Verhaeghe? Oh, shit. Can we double shift that line? That would make the top line Barkov with Reinhardt and Verhaeghe. Okay. Yeah, let's double shift that line. Simon says, do I think at the end of the day, do you think the guys will defend the win the Stanley Cup? Beginning at the end of the day, I hope that the Panthers win the Stanley Cup again. That'd be awesome. So you're asking me if at the end of the day, I think they will win the Cup again. I picked them to. I picked them to win again. To me, other than needing one defenseman, maybe two defensemen, I feel like we have the group, but they have to play up to their capacity. And playoff Bob must still exist. Now, we saw playoff Bob still exists in the last 5-10 minutes of the Edmonton game, but can he exist for a full playoffs? We're not going to know the answer to that until we know, right? Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Amanda says, I think they're going to trade Bennett, unfortunately. And Trey says, Mackey and Bennett for Crosby. Will somebody ban Trey? Will somebody ban him, please? That guy. I'm taking away your caricature. What makes you think they're going to trade Bennett? I know that. All right, so Sybil's got the lines. Barkov, Kachuk, Reinhardt, Bennett, Luostarinen, Mackey, Lundell, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, Greer, Nosek, Boquist. I like it. I actually like that. Mackey's a natural shooter. Let Bennett and Nitu do some work and get him the puck, right? Then Lundell, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez. That's enough defense there to cover for Verhaeghe's deficiencies. Yeah, I'd do that. Trey says I can't take the belt. That's true. Now, I've seen some people talking about rumors of Bennett. Hey, Bex, you say Bennett's been MIA lately? He's still sick. Trust me when I tell you, he's still sick. He's still sick. Or at least he was. He looks like he's skating with a 50-pound backpack. Who do I think the Panthers are going to do this year? What do I think we're going to do, Simon, in terms of the trade deadline? I mean, we have to get a defenseman. We have to get a defenseman. I know people think, I don't know, and people think that we're going to move Bennett. I just don't know if that's you don't move Sam Bennett if you really think that you're going to have a chance to win the cup again, unless it's something stupid crazy like you're going to go get Brady Tkachuk or something. Amanda says they need to invest in defense. If we pay him, we could be screwed long term. Not if we let Ekblad walk. Right? Mike agrees with those lines, yeah. Bennett says, Frank says, Bennett for no one other than Petty or Marner or Byron or Cousins, no less than impact players. Yeah, it would have to be. If you're trading Bennett for salary concerns and you're going to get a guy that's still got salary, I don't know what, you know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't make any sense to do it. It's a tough call. iDog says, how about we take Ekblad off defense and just let him try to score as much as possible, put him on the top line? He could be he can't be as slow as Yager was, right? But the problem with Ekblad is all you got to do is pressure him and he gives up the puck. That's the problem. Trey says, "Oh, now Jaws plays a doctor on TV." What did I say? Did I forget something I said? What did I say? What did I say to trigger that comment, Trey? I honestly don't remember. Vegas, yeah, I was not happy with what they did with Flower as well. I think I actually made a video about it on this channel years ago. Silva says, I was impressed with Mackey when he was on the ice with Lundell and Luciani last game. There was a shift in the first period where we set up Lundell for one of our best scoring chances. Yeah, I don't understand what the problem is. Vincent thinks we're going to trade Ekblad. I know, Silva. Beck says I wouldn't move Bennett. What defenseman am I looking at? Connor Murphy. Connor Murphy from Chicago. If we can make it work, I think it'd be a good fit. That's other than Sidney Crosby, that's the one thing that Trey and I agree upon. And yeah, Mike's got a good point, right? We trade Bennett to go to another cup contending team since it'll only be for this 1 year, right? Sybil says, I got clowned on the Panthers subreddit for saying Ekblad was overpaid and bad defensively. Really? I guess so. Reddit actually likes Ekblad because Facebook don't like him. That's funny. It's funny how it depends on the platform. You get different opinions. Beck says Ekblad is a lose-lose. He plays well when he plays well, but getting rid of him late season for someone who might not work out could be a huge loss. Yeah. Yep. If you want to win the cup again, we just have to roll with the guys, try to add a couple pieces. But you go trading a Bennett or an Ekblad right now, unless you're bringing in Cale Makar, which ain't happening. You know what I mean? You're just creating holes. Am I tired of you? No. I got to scroll. Wait, I missed the super chat and everything. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Amanda says, I'm almost certain if Bennett leaves, he's going to be so depressed on another team and won't show the same value. It's really interesting. It's not kind of a little bit kind of like what happened with Huberto, right? You know, I can't put my finger on what we would get in return to make it worth losing Bennett. Unless, and I'm not agreeing with this, and I'm not saying that this is, but unless Maurice is convinced that he could go, oh God, because he loves Boquist, and Boquist centered that fourth line when Nosek was out. I wonder if Maurice thinks that he can go Barkov, Lundell, Boquist. That is not. We will get obliterated in the first round if that's what we try to do, and that's the problem. I love Lundell, but Lundell is so great on that third line because of what second line does. Yeah, Vincent says there's no player like Bennett in this league. Only comparison is Landeskog. Exactly. Scrolling the bottom again because I can't keep up. Anthony wants to know if the bread man fits what we do, and do I think we trade for him because it seems like the Rangers are going to rebuild. I think in another year, I think maybe last year, right? But this year, I think with what we have going on, we need defense. We need defense, and we need maybe another big, strong, fourth-line guy. Because every time Gadjevich is on the ice, he gets hurt. I don't think Panarin would really be because I don't think our scoring troubles is lack of talent. I think we've got enough guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. They're just not working hard. I know it sounds crazy. I'm not worried about the offense. Now, are we going to win our playoff games 2-1 this year? No. It's going to be 3-2 or 4-3. Can we still win a cup doing that? Hell yeah. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. But we need defensive help. So to give up assets for Panarin right now, I don't think it would be. I don't think it would really be a smart move. Trey says Knight and a 2 for Connor Murphy and Soderblom. Done. Yep. Okay. Yep. The only problem. Well, no, we don't have to worry about the money because of Spencer Knight. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on a second. That's not what I meant to do. So it says, what in my opinion for what should we be doing at the trade deadline? Yeah, Connor Murphy on what Trey said. What Trey said. Now, of course, that still puts us needing a backup goalie, right? Chris Drieger is not the answer. So that would still have us needing a backup goalie. That's the only problem. That's the only flaw. It's tough, man. When you're paying your backup goaltender $4.5, and you've got Ekblad there at 7.5, and there's a lot of decisions to be made. And we may end up having to make decisions that are not great for the long term, but we're trying to win the cup back to back. And we may have to take some hits to do that. Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Soderblom makes 1.9. Murphy makes 4? What they'd have to retain like 500,000, right? Yeah, that could work. That could work. Man, it said realistic trade ideas for the trade deadline. Well, the Connor Murphy one, that's for real. Who was the other guy that I was looking at? I made a video for the members. I can't remember who it was that I had brought into the picture. Was it Provorov? I think it was Provorov, because you have to pick from the teams that are not playoff teams, and our problem is money. Yeah, thank you, Trey. Our problem is money in terms of we barely have any assets, and on top of it, we're going to need other teams to retain salary unless we send salary back. And so then you start looking at the guys that make money, that have a good salary, that we could move, that wouldn't stop us from winning the cup again. And that list is very short. You could maybe win again without Luosterainen. You could maybe win again without Rodriguez, and maybe you could win again without Spencer Knight if you replaced the goalie. Those are the only guys that make any kind of money that we could send away and still have a decent chance of winning again. Right. But Trey's got it. Connor Murphy is a big right-handed and somehow has a positive negative on the Blackhawks. But the only problem with Murphy is he's got that 1 year left on his term. So if Chicago's going to retain salary now, they'd have to retain some salary. If it was a 1-for-1 deal, Knight for Murphy, right? If you just did that, then we'd be okay. But he also gives you some. What Trey just said was exactly what I was getting ready to say. That makes him Ekblad insurance. Exactly. To me, when I looked at it, that was the guy that has the possibility to help us win a cup now and be a good move for the long-term future. Whether or not Zito can pull it off or not, but everything is there. Chicago's obviously not a playoff team. Murphy's kind of a vet, right? He's got term. We have the need. I would love to wake up to the text that, but we don't know. Like, we say Spencer Knight, but as much as we love Eetu Luosterainen, he makes enough to where, Luosterainen for Murphy, if they withheld some, if they held on to some salary, you could get that noise, right? I don't want it to happen. I know Lundell Luosterainen is a pair. I'm fully aware of all of that. But that's another name that, again, the list of guys that we could move that make money, that have a decent salary. Does losing Luosterainen cost us a chance to win the cup again? I don't know. Can we replace? He doesn't. He's not a heavy scorer, right? So would there be somebody out there that we could bring in that would kind of give us what he gives us in a defensive way? Maybe. Not saying that's what I want to happen, but Bohlquist has not worked out. Adam Bohlquist has not worked out, and Schmidt is a moderately acceptable bottom pair defenseman. That's what Schmidt is at this point. You want to like the guy. You can see you cannot fault Schmidt's effort ever. That's one thing. Even on the nights when nobody is skating, Schmidt is still skating. He's just so slow you don't notice it. He looks to see when the rest of the team is not skating and Schmidt is skating, then Schmidt just looks quick. It just makes him look quick. Vegas says we're about to piss off a lot of people with the winger you pick up. Maybe. Did something just happen, or are you just projecting the future? Anthony says, well, we have to give up too much to get for Malkin. That's crazy to think, right? That's crazy to think. No, how much does Malcolm make? Listerine only makes I think it's 3. I think he only makes 3. Vincent says E2 and Lundell must be split. He's stagnant there. Maurice thinks that they are good, which means nothing is happening. We have an overlap of that type of player. Erod, Samoskevich, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt there. But can we get enough scoring? Can we get enough scoring if we moved E2? Let's say E2 for Connor Murphy, give or take. And then can we get enough scoring out of Lundell, Samoskevich, and Boquist in the playoffs to win the cup again? I don't know. I think you'd have to bring in somebody. You'd have to bring in like another Tarasenko type of player, like Lundell, Samoskevich, or the Tarasenko or something like that. I don't know if we could get enough scoring out of that line. You know, because once the playoffs come, they're going to start beating the crap out of Samoskevich every night, every shift. Right? And he's still a rookie. You know, a couple of years from now, sure, but it's tough. Trey says, I don't care who Vegas gets as long as their guys on LTIR are actually hurt. Yeah, I agree with that. Anthony says, if we can convince Pittsburgh to eat some of that contract, maybe it works out 1-for-1 Luosterainen for Malkin. I mean, they'd have to eat. Is he on the last year of his deal? Sybil says, look at the bright side. If we lose Bennett, Maurice will have zero excuse to keep Samoskevich on the 4th line. There's that. I wonder what would have happened to Luosterainen if he would have been able to continue to develop at center. Don't forget, Luosterainen was our center for the entire President's Trophy season. He was the 4C. I just wonder if he would have been given an opportunity to continue to develop at center, if he would have eventually been like a viable Bennett replacement. I know he's not as fast as Bennett, or if at least it could have been Barkov, Lundell, Luosterainen at 3C. Yeah, I know, Trey, right? Metal says, what do I think about Boquist, Nosek, and a 6th for Stenlund? God, that's a lot to pay to get our guy back, right? That's a lot. I don't think we would have to give up that much. I think Boquist and a 6th should get Stenlund back. I don't think you would want to move Nosek because you need 2 4Cs for the playoffs because those guys are always getting hurt. You know, like last year we had Lorentz that could come in. Frank says Rodriguez hasn't scored. I don't know how long. Lundell also hasn't scored. It's very true. It's very true. And Amanda's saying, we need Bennett. He knocks everybody out in the playoffs. I don't see, like I said, and it's fantasy because Ottawa's not giving up Brady Tkachuk. But unless we can't win the cup with the way the team is designed, there's no way we can win the cup again without Sam Bennett. Look at what's happened to us in the playoff games in the last 2 years when he's been out. It'd be a quick. If we played Tampa in the first round without Sam Bennett, lights out. Just turn him out. That ain't happening. I don't know who you could possibly get, unless Zito just has some like wild Frankenstein moment where he remakes the entire roster and he trades Bennett for Connor Murphy and a 1st, and then we trade the 1st and Ekblad to go get somebody like Brady Tkachuk to put into Bennett's spot or something like. I mean, he'd have to remake the entire roster with 2 months left to go in the season, or just ride it out and risk losing the guys for nothing. Yeah, Trey's right. Lundell only scores when Barkov is out, right? Hey, thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. She says Bennett, Knight, and Samoskevich for Brady. Jesus. You know, why you got to make me think about that, Amanda? Shit. The problem with that, Amanda, that's the problem is then Ottawa's going to be kicking our ass with Bennett, Knight, and Samoskevich for how long? That years after that. That's the problem with that deal. If it wasn't to a team in our own division, I might blink at that. But they'd be kicking our ass with those. That's a lot of chances for them to be kicking our ass with our own players in the division. Frank says E2 is a forechecking maniac. We're not paying him to score 30. We're paying Chucky and Verhage for that, and they haven't done shit. All right, I'll grant you that, Frank. I'll grant you that. Here comes Trey. Says Sens get Crosby and Mackey. Penguins get a 1 from Ottawa and a 2 from us and Bennett, and we get Brady. Sens get Crosby and Mackey. The Penguins get a 1 from Ottawa and a 2 from us and Bennett, and we get Brady. The problem is salary. Who's eating the salary? We got rid of Bennett, who's making what? What does Bennett make? Not a lot. What? And Brady's got a big fat contract, right? Somebody's going to have to eat a lot of money there. Pittsburgh, they get the picks, they eat the salary. Vincent says, let's shake things up for Hagee for Lafreniere. That's interesting. Sybil says, you have to remember the only fan base that thinks Samoskevich has a lot of upside is the Flying Fluffy fan base. Most fan bases think he has third line potential at best. Yeah, but a third line on a cup-winning team, I think he's got second line potential. I think he's got first line potential. I think he's got every potential in the world to be a 30-goal guy. Absolutely not. Absolutely no reason why he can't. Owen Tippett is practically a 30-goal guy. People don't think Samoskevich is going to be better than Owen Tippett. Samoskevich would lap Owen Tippett in a race. Let's just start there. As much as I like Owen Tippett, Samoskevich would be like on the last turn going, come on, Owen, let's go. Finish it up. Amanda says, we all know Brady will eventually come here. It's a matter of time, right? So Meadow says, yeah, Bennett's making like 4-4, right? Flat Earth says we need Montour back. Trey says it was also preposterous to have Ottawa sending out Brady in a 1, but at the same time, Canadian front offices do that, right? Anthony says, Josh, you asked about Malkin contract. He has 2 years left, but one of them is a player option for 3.5. The actual regular year is 6.5. So, yeah, they'd have to eat. They'd have to eat it. You know what I mean? They'd have to eat it. Ted wants to know what I think about the officiating. You know, I've noticed something. That's a good thing to bring up, Ted. I noticed something. Now, I'm not taking the credit or the blame for this. I repeat, I am not taking the credit or the blame for this. It's purely circumstantial coincidence. However, ever since I made that video talking about how, yeah, the Panthers are the champs and we're going to get the calls, we stopped getting the calls. Am I the only one to notice that? Or are y'all just been trying to pretend that shit didn't happen? It's purely coincidence. The league did not watch my video and make a call to the refs to say, all right, stop calling things for the Panthers. But since I made that video, now they can drag Bennett all over the ice. They can trip our guys. No call, no call, no call, no call. I'm just saying. Still says my dad had the gall to blame last night on Samoskevich because he's the problem when we can't score and keep giving up breakaways. How in the world? How in the world is that? Metal says no team would ever trade their highest point producer, right? Nobody would ever trade somebody after a 115-point season. You're right. You're definitely right, Metal. Oh, you meant Knight. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. That makes a little bit more sense. I'm like, how did he? Is your dad okay? At least Knight, you could make an argument for it. Anthony, no. I think they can win. Washington's not rebuilding. I think Washington thinks that they can win again right now. They're running out of time to do it, but I think that they believe that they have a chance to win. It wouldn't surprise me if Washington goes knocking on Nashville's door. Man, no, Amanda's correct there. He got stripped of the puck twice right after that. After the stupid Reinhardt pass that ended up in the back of the net, shorthanded. The next shift, Barkov had the puck towards the end of the period in our own zone, and he got stripped twice. They're just not mentally engaged. Look, we saw it last year. We saw this team look exactly like this during Spaces last year. We did see it. So I'm really not worried about the forward group. I would love an upgrade at 4C, or at least have a guy at 4C that we know can come off the bench like Lorenz did last year. But we need a defenseman. Connor Murphy's sitting right there. Blackhawks suck. Right? Make it happen, Bill. Vince says Barkov with a Hovid. Is it my imagination? This will be the last thing. Do I remember this correctly? I think this was Barkov. I remember it was last year or the year before where he was out sick and he came back for a game or two and then he got sick again and was out again. Am I remembering that correctly? Because there's always Barkov that starts these things with getting the sick. And it looks like the team, remember last year when they had all those crappy games, and then we found out after the fact that they had a whole bug going through the locker room. Wonder if Barkov came home, got sick again, and got the whole damn team sick again. Because that's how they look. The game that Kyle and I were at, the second game we were at, as soon as the whistle blew, they're just like, they look sick. They look exhausted, absolutely wiped out. I was up against the glass and I saw Bennett during warm-ups, and the dude's face is just like, he's just like out. He's just like this. You know how when you're congested and you got to breathe out of your mouth because you can't breathe out of your nose, so your mouth is kind of open and your eyes are all glassy and poofy and shit. That's how he looked. Maybe that's how he looks all the time. I don't know. I was at the game, but the point is that every time the whistle would blow, I would watch the guys that were on the ice, and their shoulders were just immediately. Yeah, Anthony, that won't happen. That's for sure. Adonis says, if I was the GM of the Rangers, what would I fix? I don't know. I think they panicked. I think the Rangers panicked. That's the truth. I think they panicked. I mean, they finally made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions. They took us to 6 games. We didn't exactly kick their ass. And so they started slow. There was some issues with the contract, with Shesterkin and all of that. I think they panicked. So I don't know what the hell they are doing from here. I don't know what they do from here. They weren't that far away. Yeah, they weren't playing great, but they weren't that far away. I mean, when they started doing this, they were still in a playoff spot. You know? So Amanda says Vegas and Panthers rematch. That's possible. As anybody from Vancouver. I don't want to have to fly to Vancouver because no Vancouver, no Winnipeg. We'll gladly take Vegas again, right? Sybil says the GM of the Panthers are the Rangers. The only reason the Rangers are as bad as they are, it's exactly what happened to us after the '96 run. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it. I mean, I don't watch all their games. I don't know all the ins and outs like I do with the Panthers. So, but you know, like when we fired Gallant, we were 500. We were like 2 points out of a playoff spot or something. So, all right, everybody, that's going to do it for today. Appreciate all the support. Thank you all very much for the super chats. And I will be live tomorrow at noon for your continued therapy session. And then I guess we got Monday, and then we're off Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we got Thursday, Friday. The Friday's game is just me. Kyle's going to be at his mother's for Christmas because we were gone and all of that. So you guys have to put up with me for the rest of the week. But until then, it'll be the both of us. All right. Thank you all again. Go enjoy your Sunday. No points, no goals, no points, no Dolphins in the playoffs. It should be beautiful.